With the not so recent Battlefield 5 patch, which reverted the TTK, I was kinda hoping to see a few changes to the air combat in Battlefield 5. Now, you know I posted that video with the Spitfire and the insanely powerful missiles. Well, it's not just the Spitfire that is still OP. The Ju-88 is a beast, and it has been since the game was released. Despite a few nerfs along the way, DICE have really failed to deal with the complete imbalance with aircraft in Battlefield 5. And this can be seen in many different aspects of the game, and we'll get into those in a minute. In this video I'm going to show you a bit of gameplay with the first few clips that were on FL652 after the patch. So just a couple of days ago I recorded this. You can tell because of the third person bomber reticles being slightly different. That's again another slight nerf DICE have implemented, but again nothing really serious that you have to worry about. And then the clips after FL, again some will be on FL but they're before the patch, and you can again tell because the bomber reticles will be slightly different. Let me know if you notice any difference between the effectiveness of the bombers. I really don't think there's much different at all. Maybe the AA guns were buffed just a little bit, but that isn't really the issue with the planes in Battlefield 5. So what are my biggest concerns? I think the main concern for me is that they're not exactly fun to use. Sure, getting a big multi-kill is fun, but in terms of a skill ceiling, learning how to fly the bombers, getting involved in some really fun air-to-air combat, and then potentially fending off a load of fighters from attacking you with your teammates in a bomber, which is supposed to have a lot of people in it, a whole crew in fact, it's just not very rewarding at all. It's really a solo sort of experience being in a bomber, and I've tried to get my squad mates involved in the past. Some will jump on the rear gun, maybe someone on the top gun in the JU. I know it's slightly different in the Blenheim because of the angles you get, but it doesn't seem to have that kind of team mentality behind it, and DICE really missed a big opportunity with that in terms of the air combat. Instead it just seems as if I fly along, I drop all my bombs on all of the enemies, as you can see in the background, that are always 3D spotted, no matter what variation of Battlefield 5, at what point you were playing it. Spotting has always been a major part of the game, especially with flares being buffed in the past then coming back, and the suppression specialization on MMGs, planes having flares, all this stuff. It's always been a big thing. And from there, I don't really see any kind of fix for this. DICE could remove spotting, but is that going to fix the problem? No. It needs a complete rework, and it's too much to happen in Battlefield 5. It's something they need to really learn going into the next game. Of course, it won't be World War II, but there definitely will be vehicles in Battlefield, the next Battlefield, and there'll be vehicles with multiple seats. So we need to see that team aspect return to the game. So what I do is I fly over, I drop all my bombs, and then I go to resupply. Attrition is not a thing in Battlefield 5 in the air. It is definitely a thing on the ground with the tanks, but it doesn't have the desired effect. In planes, you just fly along, you drop all your bombs, you use your quick repair if you need to, or whatever else you have. Maybe it's a wing repair or a quick health boost, your nitrous potentially, or your smoke, and then you fly and you resupply very quickly. It used to be at both ends of the map on some maps. Now it's usually just at one end of the map, and there I do get taken down by the AA gun. But it just isn't very rewarding at all to play, and it's very unfair as an infantry player, especially on maps like FL. So now for a few clips from before the patch. Once again, this will be on a map that I wouldn't say the planes are completely OP on, but they're certainly not fun. If you're playing Breakthrough, that's certainly the case. On Conquest, I think there's a good mixture between air, ground and infantry combat on Twisted Steel. The map though doesn't have much cover, and you have this issue at the start that has again not been addressed. Flying out of base, spot the enemy vehicles, you can bomb them. There we go, I take out 2 tanks, 3 enemies, and then I don't know what I was attempting to do there. I think I was trying to bomb that enemy plane, but I just misjudged it and exploded. That isn't fun. Simple fix. DICE have had 18 months to fix this or so. Simply delay the plane spawns by 30 seconds. People will still be able to get in the planes and have fun. You just won't get that annoying bombing in the base at the start of the game. Here we go again. This is Mercury. Again, a pretty decent map in terms of balance between infantry and tanks, but the air vehicles can completely ruin it because no one has that much cover, they're easy to spot, and I can resupply so quickly. Look at this, I've just killed a load of people, I'm resupplying already. How is attrition helping in that situation? It really isn't at all. It should take a lot longer to replenish the bombs on the base of this plane. You shouldn't get as many bombs as you do. It's just kind of ridiculous, and again, it should be more of a team-orientated plane. Maybe somebody flies and somebody operates the bombs beneath. Not too sure how they balance that, but I think there's definitely more scope for a team-orientated, or at least squad-orientated vehicle in Battlefield 5. That's what people really want. Despite what they say, people want team play and squad play, and that's one way to do it. There we go again, another 4-piece, just third person dropping the bombs. Absolutely no skill involved in that at all. And you'll see another one here. Again on Mercury, a really good map for getting a load of kills in the planes. And unfortunately for the enemy team, they weren't really doing anything here to counter me. And we'll get onto that in a second. How do you counter these planes effectively in the current build of the game? It's not difficult to do really, if you focus on it. But again, it requires a bit of coordination and team play. Something that a lot of people don't really have in Battlefield 5. So here we're dropping on to Fiel. We'll see a couple of larger multi-kills now as I save them for the middle of the video, showing you how you can counter these things. I'm flying over Bravo there. I'm pretty low to the ground. I could easily be taken out by a pair of Fliegerfaust there. I know DICE nerfed the Fliegerfaust. It did need nerfing. It was completely broken. I was getting 10, 15 plane kills around on my own. Just completely broken when it first came out. But even with the nerf, it still is quite effective. And I feel sorry for those players that focus on planes, manage to get them disabled or on fire or down to a low HP, and they either quick repair and fly away, which again is a ridiculous feature in this game, or they kind of just float off into the distance and no one else on their team attempts to shoot at the plane. If I'm with another squad mate on the ground, we take out planes very easily between us. It's not a problem. Two of us aim at him, he'll be gone. The only ones that are really difficult can often be the fighters who are shooting you out of the Fliegerfaust range, and that's just a balancing issue with the weapons they have. And here's an example in the background. I'm actually flying into the enemy's base here, killing all of those players as they run up the hill. Like, how is that a thing in this game? It's absolutely absurd. People think that team balancing, or a lack of a team balancer, is the main issue in this game. I think it goes beyond that. What we're seeing here is a situation where the teams are badly balanced due to not having a team balancer. You've got a load of bugs, you've got a load of problems, you've got a load of maps that aren't really what people want, and all the other issues with the game. But on top of that, you just have badly designed vehicles versus ground targets, in terms of planes versus ground targets, and camping tanks versus ground targets. It just sucks. I've never seen it this bad in a game. It's like you're playing Siege of Shanghai with the attack helicopter against you on every single Battlefield map that has a Ju-88 or a Spitfire VB, now with the rockets, or a Mosquito with that stupid bomb on the bottom of it, which I do love personally. But the fact you can resupply them so fast, it's just a constant barrage of kind of no fun for anyone on the ground. This is why a lot of people want infantry-only maps. I know a lot of infantry players who don't really play in vehicles that much. It's not that they hate vehicles or the idea of vehicles playing alongside infantry. That's what Battlefield's about. It's because they're not balanced at all. It means you can't enjoy your game because you might just get randomly bombed by a bomber, and there's nothing you can do to counter it if you can't hear it, and if your teammates aren't willing to play alongside you and help you take it out, you're not really going to have that much fun on the game. And I think that's why a lot of people have put Battlefield down. It's not just because of the bugs, it's because of things like these planes. Again, we've got another little clip here on Mercury. Again, it's one of those maps that it's just incredibly easy to find the enemy players, as there's very little cover, and if you can't see them, you can make use of spotting. And if you can see them, if you see a flag capping, you can drop so many bombs here, and I just pick up 5-6 kills very, very easily without any real opposition. And if I do get a plane behind me, and this is another thing DICE really do need to take a look at, I can switch seats instantly, something I don't mind in Battlefield, but in this case, I can then use a rear-firing HMG or LMG or whatever sort of machine gun it is. I don't know if it's a heavy machine gun or a light one, but it is so effective. It melts enemy fighters behind me. You've seen it a few times in this video, and this is a bomber. It needs to be able to defend itself, sure, but having that ability as a pilot to drop this many bombs, get that many kills, as you'll see in a second. I think there's quite a few on this one, maybe, or only 2 on that one, but you can see in some clips I get quite a lot of kills. and then I jump into the rear seat and take out a plane behind me. That's pretty OP, and it's been here since launch. I think it shows that DICE really haven't paid too much attention to trying to balance the vehicles in this game. So as I said, I'll offer a couple of little things that maybe DICE could take a look at, and constructive criticism and all that. The game is too far down the line really for a complete rework of the vehicles, and I understand that. But for future maps, I think they do need to go down a road where you have a clear idea of what you want. Infantry gameplay, maybe a few fighters locked per team, so no bombers, or maybe you have a bomber and a fighter per team, and it's a very simple fix. You lock the team to have certain vehicles. So in this case, on Mercury, as you see, as I picked up before, a massive multi-kill, then managed to take down a Mosquito that was beside me while losing 20 HP. Completely OP, this vehicle. What needs to happen is my team gets a Ju-88, and it gets a Messerschmitt Me-109, and it gets a Stuka, so it's got 3 planes. Maybe on this map you'd have 2 planes, but you see what I'm getting at, 3 planes. You are forced to take those. You can have whichever loadout you want, but that's what your team gets. The other team gets a Blenheim, it gets a Mosquito, and it gets a Spitfire. That creates then a almost symmetrical balance, if DICE had done a bit better with the balancing between the vehicles, so they are pretty similar. And there you go, you've got your balance, and it works a lot better. In this case, our team is going to have 3 Ju-88s, which completely destroy the map. There is nothing you can do to them at all. Even fighters will very rarely be able to take them down. Or the other team is probably going to go and take another bomber of some sort, a Mosquito, and then they're not going to shoot at each other. They're just going to focus on ground targets. That causes havoc in maps. As you guys know, it makes the game very unenjoyable to play, and the same can be said for tanks. You need to have this balance where you're forced to take either an AA tank or a Tiger on one team, and then maybe a Churchill and an AA tank on the other team. And depending on the map, DICE could balance this out. We saw it in Battlefield 4. Some maps you could have an attack helicopter and a stealth jet. On other maps, you couldn't. For example, Propaganda, you are forced to take an MBT or 2 MBTs per team. You can't take anything you want. You can't pick an AA gun on Propaganda. You have to pick a certain vehicle, and that's what balance is about. That's what vehicle balance is about, and DICE have really messed it up in Battlefield 5. It's one of the major reasons, in my opinion, that people quit Battlefield 5 and have stopped playing it. Not everybody, but a lot of people. So thanks for watching this video. I just had a load of footage, and it kind of is a bugbear of mine, something that's been annoying me in a lot of the games I play. It's been annoying me for ages in Battlefield 5, so I thought I'd share it. Hopefully you are enjoying Battlefield 5. If you are, good for you. Hopefully you are enjoying this game. I've myself have gone to play other games recently. Battlefield 5 really just isn't ticking the boxes for me at the minute, and the last patch was fairly underwhelming, but there we go. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like down below. If you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike. I'm interested to see what you have to say about this topic down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.